Hi, this is Trevor.
And this is Paul.
And you are listening to the May Contain Action podcast.
Available on Apple, Spotify, and more. Hello, and welcome everyone to the live recording of the May Contain Action podcast. I mean, technically every recording is live, but it's fine. We're your two favorite content creators, talk content, pop culture, gaming, and other important subjects. I am one of your hosts, PJ Paul, aka ActionJaxon. I'm host number one. Host number two is the wildly known, very popular, and future Hall of Famer, Trevor May, everybody. Trevor May.
Also, host number two.
Yeah. Strictly host number two.
This week. Thank you for that
every week.
Wonderful introduction as usual. I appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime. You like the intros to be quick, so I'm going to speed this up.
Get faster.
Today, we have a very special guest. Someone I'm very looking forward to talking to you and getting more of his insight with a huge family, as we'll find out here today. Today, we have a very special guest streamer, show host, and beard model. SanchoWest, everybody! SanchoWest!
Oh my goodness! Yo, I was hearing the accolades of ActionJaxon, hearing the accolades of Trevor May, and I'm like, what do I got? I got beard model. I'll take it.
You got beard model. It's phenomenal, man.
Thank you. I'm joining the ranks. Ranks.
It's tight right now.
Like,
you know what?
I can't grow anything.
Well, requires a lot. But the thing about it though is what I get. It was just like what they always say in life, like life balances you out, right? Yeah. Great beard. Now I'm called Budget Drake. So fantastic. Great.
Whoa, welcome, dude.
Yeah, I get it.
Welcome to the club.
You get Drake too?
Also called Budget Drake? I called you Drake at the roast, dude.
You did. You did. Dude, that's so funny. If you are brown and have a beard, you are Budget Drake. It's just how the internet works.
Yeah. That's me. I mean, that's what I'll take it though. I mean, rather than being Budget than anybody else, I'll be Budget Drake. I'll take it.
Yeah. I'm Budget Channing Tatum. Also hungover. He's Budget and also you're like drunk last night.
Dollar General version, I think, more than anything.
I love it, man. I love it.
Thank you for having me. I'm single ply Channing Tatum.
Absolutely are. Hungover Channing Tatum. Still the best joke of the roast.
It was.
Joke.
You're welcome.
Original
I didn't
joke.
tell you to tell me that or anything.
Totally fine. Sancho, so we want to get started, obviously getting to know a little bit about you and who you are, where you came from and all that kind of stuff. First of all, let me just say something that I struggle with on a daily basis, no matter how many times I hear it. Sancho or Sancho? Can we just...
I always say it's a made up name, It doesn't matter to me. I respond to both. Sancho, it doesn't matter. It's I was like, man, I really feel weird saying about like I'm about to name drop here. Like, whoa, excuse me, didn't mean to. I was hanging out when I was hanging out with Cloaksy. He asked the same question. Yeah. Whoa.
Dennis. Whoa, Dennis.
Yes. Yeah. When he asked me, and of course he has the East Coast accent. He's like, is it Sancho? I'm like, it doesn't matter, brother. It's a made up name. You can do whatever you want. I respond to both.
I mean, all names are made up, though, right?
It's true. I mean, they start somewhere.
That's very true. When you thought of it in your head, though, when you were like, "This will be my name," what did you hear?
Well, Sancho.
Yeah,
Sancho.
I knew it.
Sancho. A
it.
little bit of that gusto behind it, brother.
Sancho.
Yes, Sancho.
I think it's like the less you move your mouth, the better it is.
And then we have Trevor. Hi, Trevor.
Hi, I'm Trevor.
Oof.
Actually, one of my best friends is named Trevor. He's a good dude, so no doubt.
We're good dudes.
Named Trevor.
In general.
Really, Trevors are pretty good. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Neville Longbottom's frog's named Trevor. Remember him? Trevor.
No one remembers that, Trevor.
Neville Longbottom. He's everyone's favorite character from Harry Potter.
They don't remember his pet's name, though.
Yes, they do. Because it's the same as Trevor May's name.
Yeah, they don't. Well, Sancho, how did you come to the name SanchoWest, period? Where did that name come from? How'd you think of it?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I mean, It's actually, I always tell people they when they ask this question about how do I get big and Twitch and whatever, it's like, well, branding's important. And if the better your name is, the more personal it is to you, the better you're going to be with it. So my name generates back in high school, which is way back when. In high school, there was a character that I created because I'm a theater kid. And we had this show where we were hosting the spring dance, which is all the dance team had their dances in. I created this character named El Sancho. He had that just like that, dude. And he was the ultimate failure of a ladies' man because he thought he was everything, but he wasn't. And I love that foil in him. Anyway, so that character El Sancho basically went from that. And my gamer tag in college was Hilltopper Sancho because of the mascot we had. So Hilltopper Sancho. And then I moved out west and became SanchoWest. So it was like it kind of like, gravity, because like before my YouTube channel at the very beginning of its time, because that's where I started my content creating at the very beginning of its time, was Blaxican Brothers. Because
Blaxican Brothers,
I'm glad it changed, but my best friend and I were getting into content creating. He was black and I was Mexican American, so here we go, the Blaxican Brothers. And thank goodness, because he eventually stopped doing the content creating. I was like, hey, bro, I'm just going to switch it over to SanchoWest. He's like, that's fine, bro. You do what you got to do. But yeah, man, then SanchoWest was born.
That is incredible.
It's a journey. You know what? I've been listening to the pod a little bit, and a lot of people are like, long story short, let me just give you a little quick thing. And
brother,
do not
tell you
do that.
No, I won't do that.
Never do that in a podcast. Literally, the purpose of the podcast is long form discussion.
100%. I'm all for it.
If there was ever a place, it was
Now's
here.
the time. Yes.
It's here, and it's Escape from Tarkov queues. That's where.
Dude. Yes.
I had a long life, my man. I'm an open book. I'm here for you guys. I'm like 100%. I'm excited to share my backstory and excited to share my mentality when it comes to this thing that called content creation, was this bizarre to me.
Dude, I love that.
So that's just nail, head, meet it, hammer, or whatever I was trying to say.
Yeah, dude, hit it in the nail meat. Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, nail it right in the meat. Trevor, in that spirit, you want to hit him with the next hard-hitting question we got for him, dude?
Yes, fast food. What's your favorite?
Yeah,
what'd you go to? You're driving home from, I would say, work, but you're home for work. So you're driving. You're driving to do that, to do your day of errands when you leave your house one day of the week, and and you're like, you know what, I want that. You drive by, you see it, you got to get it. What is that? It can be actually, and we've kind of expanded a little bit. It can be fast food. Everyone's got their fast food. It can just be like a chain or like a local place in general that you really love.
We call it fast casual, right?
Yeah, fast casual. Throw them both in there if you got
fast casual.
Fast casual.
No, I got a little bit of trouble with this, but during the Twitch Rivals thing, I asked, I'm a Whataburger guy, all right? I'm from Texas. By default, when you're born, you're a Whataburger person. Like, and it's not what a burger, it's Whataburger.
Water or
Whataburger.
There's not really fast. Whataburger.
Yeah, Whataburger. So it's not what a burger, as they say. I mean, I've auditioned for, I seriously auditioned for Whataburger commercials back in Texas. So I'm a Whataburger guy through and through. I mean, I'm remembering that Twitch Rivals things. It was Tim, the Tap Man. See, look at me. Oops. And Nick Marks.
Dude,
oops.
with the name
Mike Evans,
dropping.
Oops. Kyler Murray. Oops.
Okay.
They were all there.
Real athletes, you know what I mean?
Listen, I had to defend Whataburger because Mike Evans said that In-N-Out's better than Whataburger. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, bro. That's not true. And I was expecting backup from Kyler Murray, and then Tim the Tap Man, Nick Marks all disagree. And hence those tweets that they sent out that Tim said that Whataburger is not even a top 5 discussion, which is blasphemous.
Oh, that's what started that whole thing?
Yes, that started the whole thing. That was me. Wow. It was my fault.
Wow.
But so Whataburger, number 5, which is bacon and cheese, plain and dry, which means no veggies, nothing. Because I don't like a soggy burger. I don't like lettuce. I don't like tomato because it's too wet. And sometimes I could do onions.
It's too wet.
But, yeah, it's too wet. It makes the burger moist. I don't like. I like hot, like hot and ready, toasty, buttery, delicious burgers, and that's what
melty cheese. The cheese needs to be the only moisture.
Yes. And then the bacon comes in and it hits you, and then I get the fries, and I get a half strawberry, half Coca-Cola drink. Like you ask for it, they'll do it. And this is how much I like Whataburger, guys. I am going to the St. Jude Live Summit in Memphis, and I got excited when I saw that I'm stopping in DFW because there's a Whataburger in that terminal, in that airport.
There is.
Yes.
There are a lot. There is.
Yes. So that is my answer to that question. I respect In-N-Out. When I moved to Cali, I got it. I understand it. But the problem with In-N-Out is that their fries are or sus. And the thing about their veggies, again, too moist. And you have to order it a certain way. I'll tell you my In-N-Out order. All right. It's a double mustard instead, fried well, toasted bun, and no veggies. And boom. It tastes like
that.
Toasted bun. That's big too.
Toasted bun, dude. The people don't understand that.
I think we've ever had such a detailed description.
Well, you got to remember, Whataburger and In-N-Out are, people are like, they have, everyone's like animal style or not animal, everyone has their like very specific. This is why I asked this question.
It's a good question.
My place, the place I go, my taco time, where I went today in honor of our podcast, I ate it an hour ago. Yeah, I have gotten the exact same thing every time, and I've been eating there for 20 years. I've never eaten anything else but what I get.
Wow. That's the thing, though. Because that's what fast food is. It's comfort food, and what makes good fast food restaurants is the consistency. So, like I talked about this in great links of ranking my fast food. Mm-hmm. Probably the best fast food burger I've had of all time was in Argentina. Because the meat's different there. Yeah, the meat's different there. I had the best McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese of my life in Argentina. Like,
are you sure you weren't just really hungry?
No, dude, it was early in the morning. So I was a little hungry, and no, dude, I kid you not, dude. Argentine beef, delicious.
This is also important. Were you at the back end of a trip?
No, I wasn't. So I know what you're talking about. I was just jonesing for like something. The hotel I was staying at, there was a McDonald's like on the way out to like everywhere else, and I was like, I'm hungry. Let's get a McDonald's, whatever. And it was like, oh, okay, it's different. It hits different around the world, and that's why I like. I respect McDonald's because it's worldwide, and it's like a slice of home wherever you are around the world.
Look at that.
Yeah, I had a Five Guys in Spain, and it was
really
incredible.
Okay, guys, with the weird flexes, dude. Right.
Except the only problem was the lady who was sitting next to us. She totally got her purse stolen, like while we were sitting there.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Which was bad because who's in a Five Guys in Spain? A bunch of stupid Americans.
Like mayo's running down your face. You see the robbery happening. You're like, oh, that sucks.
Well, he tried to get us. And we caught him and like shoot him away. And then he's like on his way leaving our table, just swiped a purse next to. We didn't see it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Anyway, that's another story. Yeah,
that's very interesting. Okay, interview you one day, Trevor.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. No one wants to.
Sounds like you need a
podcast. We learn something new every day.
You do. Well, Sancho, you mentioned like world travel and whatnot.
Yeah,
going to a little place. But what did you do? I mean, I don't know how that was related to your life at the time, but what did you do before streaming, before content creation, before shoutcasting, and when did you decide to take this full time? When did you think it was stable enough for you to take it full time?
Oh man, goodness gracious! The reason why I love what I do is because the amount of different jobs I've had in my life. We're talking like 10 plus jobs I've had in my life.
That's wild.
And I'm not because I'm not a bad employee.
You got fired a lot, dude.
Hey, I have been fired in my life. I will go into that in a bit. Actually, the first job I've had ever in my life was at Subway. So when I was 15 years old, and my dad literally walked in the Subway and was like, "You guys are hiring. My son wants to work." I didn't know that he was having this conversation, and he was like, "He's 15. Is that okay?" "Yeah, I just got to sign away," and I got signed away to Subway. So like Trevor May is getting signed to the Twins when I'm getting signed away, Subway. So
hell of a contract deal.
It's kind of hell of a contract, But I worked. Literally, I'm going to list just random all jobs that I had in my life. So I worked Subway, I worked at Costco, I've worked at Circuit City, I've worked as a concierge for like a condominium in a high rise in Austin. I've worked at Apple in the call center. We talked about that back. I worked at Apple. I've worked as a technician and a technician in Hollywood, which was kind of cool because you get to meet like really interesting people and Hollywood stars for their Mac computers. And I worked at a digital media company called Defy Media, which if you don't know, was a part of Smosh. So Smosh, big YouTube channel. Smosh is like OG legendary YouTube channel. Was run by Defy Media, and that went all to shambles. But I was doing all those things, and I moved out to Los Angeles like 7 years ago. And when I started content creating was because I wanted to be an actor, and I went to school for acting, got a degree, did the whole 9 yards, did everything right. Took a lot of classes and things of that sort for it. And what ended up happening, just like what happens to everybody who has the acting dream in Los Angeles, you just get destroyed. Like it just spits you out. I wasn't my acting coach back in Texas was like, you're not ready. You don't have the resume for it. Don't move to Los Angeles. But my wife's business took me out here, her job. So I was like, all right, let's just go. Let me go for it. But and the reason why I did content creating was this town is full of rejection, dude. Like, no, you can't do this. No, you're not right for that part. No, we don't want you. Da 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 da. So a bunch of no's, and it got me into a really bad place, like mentally, emotionally, and I was just like beaming with light going into Los Angeles, and it got smutted, like destroyed out. And so I told myself, I want to create stuff. And when I learned when I was in theater was like, you don't really need much to do theater. Like it just needs an audience, a performer, and a stage. Like those are the three things you need, and you could do theater anywhere. And I took that to heart. So I was like, all right, I love gaming. I wish I didn't waste my refund checks from college on surround sound. I wish I used it towards video capture stuff. So I was like, let me create a gaming channel. And this was in 2012. I was like, all right, let me just create a channel and give myself a stage, give myself performance to do something, and the audience will come. And started grinding that, and eventually led to like Twitch streaming. And then now it's more of a theatrical experience of an actual live audience and getting the same thing of performance and vibing and things like that. But yeah, man, like that's why I started content creating, and people just liked what I did, and they liked the vibe that I do, and that the enthusiasm I have for games. Because I've been playing video games forever, but I come from the era of a bygone era of the arcade. That's where like I gained my most like experience playing video games. Like, you know, the whole quarter up thing, like put the quarter on the machine. Yeah. And you're like, hey man, you wanna play? No doubt. All right, I got next. You put the quarter on the machine cabinet, and that was your way. And like,
what? You grew up in the 80s?
Hey, I grew up in those times, man, of like I still remember the Pizza Hut back at home next to in Austin, Texas, that had an X-Men machine and the Simpsons and all that stuff. But that's where, when I was starting content creating, and I would, you looked on YouTube and you saw nothing but like lack of a better word, toxicity, like like very aggressive memes and people like ragging on each other. This was like Call of Duty days. So I was like, I don't want to be that channel. I want to show what gaming means to me, and bring that arcade experience of like GG's, good vibes, and put it out content wise. So that was my whole thing. And that's what inspired me to like really push it. And then the community came around, and I just feel like I literally, there was a saga and I just warped right through it. But yeah. But basically that's why I'm here. And then like, I love casting and I love hosting. And that happened in high school when you're just up in front of a crowd. There's really something magical about it when you look out in the crowd and there's just people laughing and smiling. And when I started hosting and casting, that kind of like same energy started to come around. I was like, oh, okay, this is it. This is what I wanted to do. Like, I love this vibe and I want to chase this feeling. And, I mean, because to answer like both of you guys know that this thing called content creation is the Wild West. Like there's wrong ways of doing it, but there is right ways that people have done it. But you could literally go out there and do it, and it doesn't require much. And that's what's wild to me.
It's true. Yeah, it's very the what is it? The requirement, right? The requirement to get started is pretty low. There's not a whole lot that you need to get started.
Yeah, man. And that's what's crazy is that you could get discouraged so easily.
Yeah.
And I keep telling people that if you want to pursue this, what you want to do, if this is it, content creating, know that there is literally no road signs and there's literally no path at all. I compare it to like running in the dark because that's what you're doing. But there's awesome moments like being on this podcast. I'm not gonna lie to you, being on this podcast is one of those moments, like a sign that's letting you know, hey, you're going the right way. Keep going and trust yourself. Like you're okay. I know no one in your family has pursued content creating. No one in your friend circle is doing what you're doing.
Yeah. But
you're doing it, right? Just keep going. You're going to be fine. And that's what like I always tell people, you need to look for moments like that because they're some of them, sometimes it happens a lot, like you like bam, 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 right? And then all of a sudden there's dead silence.
Yeah.
just keep going. You'll find another beacon. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, man. It's so fun and exhilarating, and it's so scary at the same time. But that's what content creating to me is, and that's where I've learned over the 5 years of jumping into it, and here I am 5 years later, still going.
Dude, that's so true. Like as far as just finding your way in the dark.
Yes.
And you hold on to like little morsels of success that you find along the way. Like, okay, I must be going the right way because that came up and then that came up.
Yeah.
Someone asked me the other day on stream, they're like, how do you get more viewers? And I posted about it on Twitter and we talked about this in an earlier podcast.
I remember that tweet.
Yeah. It was just like, bro, when I find out, I'll let you know. I have no idea what I'm doing. We're all just like raving our hands in the dark trying to find anything.
I don't know about, like, I feel like in sports, like, in Trevor's world that I applaud him as well for being in this world as well. It's very cool. Like when I talk to athletes, interview athletes who want to be streamers and who are doing it on the side, their side hustle. There is a path, kind of, sort of, right? You do well in high school, you do well in college, you do that, you get X, Y, and Z, and boom, you work your tail off and you're in type of vibe. But I feel like with content creating, it's just like, you might, Paul, I think you will probably relate to this. You may know someone who's famous as well in the content world. That doesn't mean that equals success for you, because you still have to put in the work, and you still have to be present, and you still have to do everything you can. And sometimes you have to work harder than the other people that don't know anyone that's famous, because you have to kind of like work past that shell and show people like, no, I've been doing this long before, and no, I got stuff too, right? I'm something as well. So, but yeah, man, I remember that tweet. That tweet really did ring home to me too.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
It's tough out here in these streets.
In the content. It's tough out there, man.
It's tough out here.
It's funny that you put it like that way. I don't know why I was thinking about this specifically in the car today. But like I was thinking, for whatever reason, I was just thinking about like why I've been asked the question, like, dude, you play a professional sport, like why do you spend so much time on like making a YouTube and like trying to do TikTok now? And you know, like I had 2 YouTube channels, and I stream like, in the off season 25, 30, 35 hours a week. And everyone's like, why would you give yourself another job? But I said, well, that's not what it is. I'm not here to try to replace the other thing. What I'm trying to do, what I enjoy is I like building things, but I like building it not in the satisfaction isn't from like a number that comes from it, whether it be viewers or views or engagement or whatever. It comes from the idea that I had an idea, I tried the idea, and then there was evidence of it either working or not working. And when it works, it's just that much, like when you feel like it's working, you're like, wow, that hit there. It's like, that's the satisfaction I got, not from that got that many views. That was just an indicator of something that I did worked. If that makes sense. And it's the process.
Just the ability to like see an idea, flesh it out, and accomplish that idea.
I had an idea, I went for it.
Its own reward.
Yes, right. I went for it. And then when it actually works out, it's that much sweeter. But then if it doesn't work out, you're still getting feedback. So it's still valuable. So like there's no loss there. There's just, it might cost money. I mean, you might have spent some money to try something, or, I don't know, bought some props for a video or something. You know what I mean? Did something stupid, broke something, but people do that stuff. That's why I'm like, they throw themselves down the stairs for clout now. They're like, I broke my leg, but I got 1,000 views. But I was just thinking about how it's very important to make that distinction, because now, and a lot of the reason we do this and we have this conversation specifically is because there's so many kids now that like, just like before, or just like for a long time, it was like, I want to be a professional athlete. I want to be, like that's what I want to be when I grow up. Now streaming or being a content creator is becoming that for the 12, 13, 14 who growing up in this age of having Twitter since they were 5, and it's very easy I saw a lot of New Year's resolutions being like, oh, I want to get 100,000 followers in this and 100,000 followers in this. And that's just not how that stuff happens most effectively. And it doesn't inevitably lead to happiness, because then when you hit that number, there's just another number after that. It has to be about the journey. Yeah, it will never be enough if you think that way. So, you have to find ways, and this could be because now I'm in the 30s and you have experience and you realize that these things, because I used to set goals like that too, like specifically like that. And now I've changed the way I do it. Not that those are bad. It's just you have to have in the idea that
I mean,
your success is in the process.
I feel that. I totally do. I mean, just hearing you, it's exactly what it is. And then you have to, because we talked about that dead silence or plateau that you're whatever that you're doing that you're trying to grow will have. And if you're holding on to that passion of what you love doing, whether it's building content, whether it's building communities, if you hold on to that passion, you would push past the plateau and you will remain confident in what you're doing, that you're, like I said, you're doing the right thing. But I'm not going to lie. I mean, there is a thrill of seeing a big number on content that you make. What I used to do with Defy Media is my job was to seek out viral content and to identify what would go viral. If I saw something, if it's a dog or like a baby or someone falling down, if I knew it would go viral, my job was to go get it. Dog right? Or a baby. Listen, those are the top hitting things, man.
Dude, if a puppy fell down, that's gold. It is. You got all three.
Trust, like I know that, and then that same energy of like finding that content and you're like, yeah, I got it. It's skyrocketing, it's getting millions of views. But the thing about there's two things I want to talk about is that the first thing is you can't build on numbers because you cannot trust algorithms in general, and algorithms could either inflate you to the point where you think you're doing really well and deflate you to you're not, like you're actually doing well, but the algorithm is not supporting what you're doing. And when you look and focus on numbers, you get really demotivated. And like I'm going through that right now with Instagram because I worked from 2K followers to 86K. But they changed something in their algorithm that I haven't really figured out yet, to be honest. And now I'm back down to 84.7K. And like people who may be listening, like, oh, this guy is like, no, but it's messing with my psyche because I'm like, is it the content that I'm doing? Is it that I'm not uploading at a certain time? Is it the tags? Is it I'm not putting the hashtag? Am I not trying Instagram TV? It could just be that the algorithm is literally changed. But there was a moment where I thought, no, trust in your content, keep pushing it out. If the algorithm keeps chopping you down, just keep pushing out because people are still engaging with you. Just keep pushing it out. And that's why you can't build success on numbers, view count, followers. I always, when I stream, I have all that stuff off. I look at the chat. I always tell myself, if these people are here, no matter how many people are here, they could be 500, 280, one person. As long as they're engaging with what I'm doing right now in this moment, I feel good. Like, that's all I want. Like I feel good. And I tell people, I don't see chat. I don't look at I don't look at viewer numbers. I don't look at that stuff.
Sure don't.
Just vibe with me and we're good to go. Like that's all I want.
Turn it off, guys. Seriously, that's the best advice I ever got. Like, dude, if you stream, just turn it off. Just don't hide it. Just hide it somewhere. And then when you get a big host, if you say you got a big host, right? Yes. Right at gate. Look at it then and just give yourself a little bit of a boost where it's going to be way higher. Give yourself some energy and then turn it off again.
Absolutely.
Use it like that.
I mean, because you can't second guess yourself at everything that you do, especially if you stream battle royales. You can't do it because the moment you die or the moment you make a mistake, it gets in your head and you can't get into it. And that's why you brought it up about the New Year's resolutions. I feel like there was a lot of the young people who are doing that. A lot of the young people out there. But no, seriously, like I'm a father now, and I feel like my daughter is essentially born in the world of social media, and who knows where it'll go because she's only 2 years old. So like, who knows where that goes when she gets older? But like, I honestly, when I was growing up playing video games, because that's what I love to do at my course, play video games. I only had to be the best person in my house. And if my cousin, if my cousins came to challenge me, I had to be ready. And that was it. And my boys who came over, that was it. And now with social media, streaming, Twitch, you have to be the best in the world. Like, are you kidding me? Like, like no wonder kids are like so stressed out and mad about video games and like taking out their frustrations on Twitter and all that stuff. I'm like, bro, that's not what gaming's to me. It's literally just that moment of being the best to your ability and just having a fun time. Like for me, it's a release from what's going on in the world. Like,
absolutely. I can't even tell you. I remember I don't remember, but I remember the feeling I had the first time I thought of a game offering some sort of tournament. Like it happened with Fortnite where they're like, all right, now we have summer, whatever, like tournament built into the game itself. Yeah. And I was like, that's overwhelming. Like that, the idea of going up against the best who would click on that and want to be in that tournament. Like some people get excited about that, and that's totally fine. I mean, if you think you're the best, like in your high school, maybe you're the best in the state. I don't know, but like maybe you're like B grade compared to everyone else. But like that just feeds so much competitive drive, and maybe this is a boomer thing. And I know people are competitive, but if I play a game, it's typically because I want to relax, and not because I'm trying to like compete against like the very best all the time. You got to remember the idea of a contest is like overwhelming to me personally. Well,
exactly. But like, again, the time they're growing up now, the Booga winning the World Cup was like a catalyst that just like set off parents who were like, get off that game are now like, okay, you got 4 hours of practice tonight and I'm going to sit behind you and make sure you're like doing your 90s. Like that's how it's like baseball became that in like the 80s when they had they made a union and then everyone started making tons of money. So everyone's like, oh, baseball's a thing. Let's do that. Like it just but it happened, of course, over like 20 years, not 3 months, because that's the world we live in now. And I get it. Did you ever do a travel league,
Trevor, when you were growing up? Like, did you
you had to, because the internet wasn't you don't have to as much now. But when I was in the mid 2000s, when I was traveling and stuff, you had to go to events. And the reason I got drafted is because I was younger than the guys I was playing with. I was a year younger, and I was bigger than everybody. I was taller, but I hadn't filled into my body. I was throwing hard. So that's just like, those are like when you're looking for a high school pitcher, like those are the things you're looking for. Just he's got to be big and strong and like looks like he could throw way harder when he becomes an adult, as opposed to being like like a 5'9" guy who's throwing really hard, but like that's not necessarily as sustainable. So like you get projected. It's just all about projection. And now they have all this extra stuff like based on how your arm moves and stuff, whether or not you're going to be hurt. Now they know way more information. I'm glad they didn't know that then, because it's just harder to like really lock in on or take a chance on somebody when you have so much information on them. And so many things that can be perceived as red flags. But so now these kids are like, they can do that for video games. And frankly, video games, you don't sweat as much and they're not as hard. Like they're not as hard. They're not as hard to do for a really long time. They're fun. So like practice for like, you go to basketball practice, you're like 2 hours in, you're like, when is this over? But like, you're dying. And then it's fun for the hour when you have energy, but then on Saturday you're playing with your squad and you guys have been playing for 9 hours getting ready for a tournament you're playing in. That's just, I understand why kids, I understand it, because if I were 11 right now, that is what I would be doing. I probably wouldn't be a professional baseball player. Probably. Yeah. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just be like, Mom, Dad, I think I can do this. But I think I would still develop in the same way. I just would probably been a lot skinnier than I am right now.
True.
Or fatter, actually. It could have been either way.
It could have really gone either way.
I would look different. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, but I'm glad you actually touched on you talked about the Instagram thing, right? And seeing kind of that little like hump happen, because literally Paul and I were talking about last week. Both of us were just seeing just like a little bit of just like a little general
across the board, little decline right in followers.
Yeah, because I think Tim and Ninja and all those guys are like they've at least like flattened or like gotten really close to flat. Like it's not growing. Well, of course it's not. Fortnite's not growing like it was either. That was crazy. That was like the craziest thing in the history of any gaming to this point, right?
That was outstanding.
But like when you post something and you look and you like lost like 80 or 100 people, and you're like, oh,
yes.
Was it you're starting to ask the questions, and like I said, the reason I think I was thinking about the thing I talked about earlier was because of that. I was just like, okay, who am I? And what does my content represent? Like you said earlier, like you continue to be your Instagram profile has you're the reason behind the things you post, the things you're posting, and you need to continue to stick to those because those people are there for a reason. People who are staying are important. And so I'm the same. Of course, I play baseball, and so I'm always like, should I put a baseball picture or should I put a picture of me getting edited on and trapped? You know,
right?
Things like that. So I'm actually in that transition where I'm like doubling down now on like, if I make a TikTok and I think it's funny, I'm just going to put it up there. I don't care. Like if people are like, that's not what I followed you for. I'm like, well, it's hilarious. You should like it. And you should also follow me on TikTok. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You just got to do it. You just got to do it and see what happens. And some of the stuff's just going to fall flat. Just don't do that again. Just do something else.
It's like spaghetti, man. You just got to throw it on the wall, dude. If it sticks, it sticks.
Yeah, just throw it on the wall. Just go for it.
Spaghetti.
You can't post too much stuff. You know what I mean? You can't try too much stuff. If that makes sense. You can post too much, but if you can't try, like just try stuff that you're interested in and that you think is funny or interesting or cool then the platform kind of tends to tell you if it is or not. And over time, it might take 5 years, might take 10 years, might take 20 years.
It's true.
Just be okay with it,
dude. Right? The focus on we were talking about numbers, and Sancho, you mentioned not looking at the numbers, likes of a post or whatever to motivate you, which is so difficult because in every sense of the word, it's a drug. It's a dopamine hit.
It is.
To see a high follower, like whatever count. So it's hard to ignore because it's like, hey, don't eat that chocolate. It's like, why? I freaking love chocolate. I'm going to eat this. But like you have to ignore that. But also almost every other profession is numbers driven. Like when you hit sales marks, when you hit numbers, numbers are a sign of success. So to tell someone is, hey, don't look at your numbers is like, well, how am I going to know if I'm being successful? And it's different. You're not doing this job. You should never do streaming because you're like, well, I got to make money. Like that's a terrible idea. You should never be a content creator because like, got to pay my bills. You should do it because that's a passion.
Oh, 100%, man. Because one of the other jobs I had was a bartender down in 6th Street, Austin, Texas, Dirty Six. And I don't know if you ever go down there. It's a college bar. And one of my favorite things that the bar manager that for some reason I will always remember, because that's sales driven, that's numbers driven, tips, all that stuff. He said, any monkey could serve drinks. Just do it. Just keep your head down and do it. So like, it's not anything, you know what I mean? It's like, just stream, just do it. Like anybody could stream, just do it. Just keep your head down and do it. And the thing about it is those guys that were passionate about bars that really love that night style. I before that job, I'd never been in the club, never been to a bar like 5 times in my life. So from going from nothing to 2 years of working at a bar was just so that in itself is like that journey. The thing that what I learned is that if you really love it, you eventually keep doing it and you might own a bar one day, right? That's the path right there. Like you own your own bar. And so many people that I work with did that. And I knew that wasn't for me, but when it comes to content creating is that the I totally agree. Like there's the days where you're like, man, I don't know if I want to do any of this stuff. But if you just I always fall back like, man, I love this thing and it's keeping me creatively like fulfilled. And there's people out there that like it and they keep coming back, man. That's all I want to do is like just keep building community one by one. And I have to agree with you. It is addictive to see your stuff like blow up out of nowhere. Like that's just really awesome. And and then the other addictive thing is like, okay, what did I do that make that like? Was it the time I posted? What what did I do exactly?
How do I get that dopamine hit again?
Exactly. But here it comes again. Oops! I was talking to Alexia Ray.
Oh boy, come on! It's getting a bit much.
Oops!
He knows people. He knows people, guys.
No, I swear to you, like all these things,
congratulations.
It was all accidental. I feel like every time I'm like, oh, why am I hate this is the thing that's like, because the streamers don't like talking about themselves, but we should. I was like, how am I at this 100 Thieves compound grand opening party here? What am I doing here?
Yeah,
here I am. But I was talking to Alexia and she was like, just post. Just do it. And when you hear other successful, and I'm hoping whoever's listening to this and whoever, when someone who's a little bit more like, well, she is very successful compared to what I'm doing, you listen. And she's like, are you on TikTok? I was like, yeah, TikTok. I use it as a dumping ground, blah, 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 blah. She's like, just do it. I don't care if you use it as a dumping ground. If you do your dump, just do it. Just post. And I want to see it. And she was like, I want to see, she was like, I want to see you post more. And she was like, post more. And she was like, I'll follow you if I just post more. And I was like, that's cool, man. For someone, you know what I mean? Like for someone of her magnitude, just to encourage, to inspire on a personal level at a party, that's really cool. Like, you know what I mean? No lights are on, no other viewers are around. Yeah. Like that's really cool for her. And I have to say, anybody in the Fortnite community is normally like that. Like 99% of all your favorite content creators. Like when I met Paul, I was a little bit worried. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. You're worried about me too. Yeah.
But no, he was just as he was in the stream and just as genuine. Yeah. So that's what it's really cool about this community in comparison to like other gaming communities.
Thanks, homie.
That's so. Yeah. Well, we've talked a lot about social media, so I might as well just ask the question. We know a lot about it. But what's your favorite platform? Which one do you think you're not on enough? Which one do you think you should? You kind of alluded there, but
yeah. I'll get it out the way. All right. So I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Byte.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Byte's new. Yep.
TikTok, and Twitch. But I don't count that as that's really a platform, not a social media
live platform. Doesn't feel like a social media platform.
I agree. Yeah. But the one I spend way too much time on Twitter and Instagram. Like if you look at your numbers, I'm like 48 hours, like insane amount a week, something like that. Like
48 hours a week,
like 40% of your total time, including sleeping.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. Like mine's
pretty high too. It's
pretty high, but like it's my thing to do at night, just to scroll by and figure out. And it's a way that I keep up with other content creators. Yeah, look at the stories and seeing. Yeah, I love right now. I absolutely love Instagram. I love the minute platform. I love the fact that you could do more with the Instagram. TV, you could do that as well. I love the stories and everything's kind of cool, but I feel like Instagram, and Alexia kind of said this, she's like, Instagram's a place where you lead people to, because that's where all the businesses look at, like all the people who are looking for influencers, they look at Instagram numbers. But so she was like, funnel everything you can to Instagram. And going from 2K to 80K plus, I love that ride. It was such a fun ride. Fortnite was popping. There were new content, and I love that. And like, boom, new weapon, boom, easy content. Just put a little clip. Doesn't matter if it's that great. Just throw it up there as soon as you get a cool kill with it. Bam. So it was like that was like, I love that ride. And but what really intrigues me the most is TikTok, and I keep going on TikTok and adding songs and adding effects that I like, because I have a running list. I have a running list, a document on my phone of all the TikToks I want to do eventually, but I'm not in that mental mindset, because I firmly believe social media's audiences are intelligent enough to know that this wasn't made for this platform. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like when I was a YouTuber trying to get people to go on Twitch, posting a Twitch stream highlight when I was really active, the YouTube audience this wasn't made for me. This is made for Twitch. You know what I mean? And when I'm on Instagram dumping into TikTok, TikTok's like, this is made for Instagram. This is not made for us. So like, I'm trying to get into that TikTok mentality. And literally last night, I heard Alexia's voice. It was like, just post. And I posted a TikTok movie, a quote of La Bamba. and it was really dumb, really low quality. Listen, it was like the dumbest thing I could think of, low quality in my laundry room. And I did it, and I was like, cool. Let's see where this goes. Because, Trevor said it's like, you could literally put the most production value and nothing could happen, or you could do something that's really simple and it really blows up. And I call it's like rolling the dice. I'm going to go in with nothing and maybe I could come out ahead with zero effort. But I literally had really fun doing that because I knew like my family would get a kick of it. I knew my close friends would get a kick of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it shows another side of me that maybe people are like, oh, I didn't know he likes La Bamba. I respect that. I love it.
I didn't know he liked La Bamba.
I didn't know I liked La Bamba. But Twitter is cool. I like Twitter because it leads you to opportunities like this. And I think Twitter is more of like a LinkedIn type vibe almost, but more of a chill thing. And the memes flow. And I like it when everybody is like on the same hashtag, like Super Bowl. I like that vibe that we're all watching it. So that's what's cool about Twitter. I like YouTube. That's where I started. That's where I started everything. That's where I build a community. It's always say it's easier to bring a community into another community. That's like the best way to jumpstart yourself. So when I had YouTube, it definitely is. Yeah, YouTube led to so many opportunities. I was doing like tutorials, which is the best evergreen content you can make on YouTube because everyone's always looking for a tutorial, whether it be a video game. You want to get in touch with the community early, make a tutorial, but know what you're talking about. That's some key. So I was making tutorials and I made top 5 plays for video games that I was playing. And that bloomed up to like 100K, like 125K. I had to stop doing YouTube because I had when I had a kid, I was like, well, she's going to be completely full-time. I could do Twitch full-time and I can't do YouTube as well full-time. So I had to drop it, but I'm planning to bring it back for 2020. And to ask you asked me a question like, how did I really get into YouTube, to content creating full time? I got into it full time because Defy Media closed and I got fired. I had no choice. I had no choice. I had a plan to do it full time. I was like, all right, I'm going to save, I don't know, 5-6K and then start going full time. And they pulled the rug underneath us. And thank goodness that my manager was cool because he was like, just to let you guys know, tomorrow is your last day. Wasn't supposed to tell you. You were supposed to show up to work and be like, hey, by the way, you're gone. And I thank goodness. And and not to bring this podcast down, fellas, but I literally had my kid and I was about to go on paternity leave before they.
No.
And so I was like, I was so mad. I've never been so mad in my life because I delayed my leave because I was like, because I'm a company man. And I think that gets me in trouble more than anything. Because I want to be a good soldier in a spec. Like even when I was a kid, like not a teacher's pet, but I just wanted to be a good student. Sure. I wanted to make my teacher happy, but I didn't want to answer all the questions. I just wanted to. When the teacher looked at me, they're like, "That guy's a good guy." You know what I mean?
Well liked.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, I made the company man decision. I was like, I'll delay my leave. But I'll take it later, no problem. And then when it was the time to later, I was like, yeah, you're gone. But what was fantastic was when I didn't have before when I got let go of a company or when I didn't have a job, I didn't have a community to get my back. And it was so cool that the community was like, nah, we got you, man. Just do what you do. We'll be here to support you. And that was kind of cool seeing that jump was like, they caught me, and I think that was really cool about that moment when I went full time.
Love that.
Oh, great.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I had a very similar thing that got me into that. Not to get too much into my life, but I also was laid off right before I started content creation.
It's a sink or swim moment, man. You
it
do
is.
It or not.
It's like you gonna do it, or you gonna like just I don't know, go on unemployment and then not be able to feed your family. So what are you gonna do?
I did that. I'm the kind of guy that's no shame. I did do unemployment for about a year. It helped me, and I was looking for other jobs, but there was nothing in my life that let me say, like, that was the answer. It was content creating was the answer for me. Like, that's it. Like, my wife was like, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "I'm just gonna lean in on this Twitch thing, see where it goes."
Honestly, that's more of your story is kind of like, I feel like the background hero is your wife here. That's just like kind of letting you do all this. She
is like 100% the best thing in my life besides my kid. Like, she's 100% the reason why I'm here. She got me the capture card. She believes in what I'm doing. And we were just talking about this because to be completely transparent, she's the one that has like the better job in terms of, for the longest time. She's an international salesperson. She's like a VP. She's like legit, right?
Pretty entry level job. Yeah.
No, she's like 100% legit. And for literally, goodness gracious, man, till now, like no joke, like a couple months ago, I felt like I wasn't contributing as much as I wanted to the family wealth, or so to speak, like the family household, besides being like a stay-at-home dad and helping around the house. But like these couple of months, ever since I signed with a talent agency, like all that is in, you know, the community as well. All that, I was like, I told her, I was like, I finally feel like you're equal after 7 years. I finally feel like you're equal right now. And that's important, man, in a relationship. I don't want to get too far in it, but that's important, is to feel like you're an equal. And especially going from you were an equal when you first met and you fell in love into that period where you weren't. And then now you're back out again. It feels great. It really does.
That's great, man.
Yeah, man. It's really cool.
Awesome. It's a very interesting feeling.
Yes.
Coming from a patriarchal kind of society period, but then also just like, I don't know what it is. If it's just like culture, it's probably mostly culture, but like also just being like the guy or like the male in the relationship, you feel like you have to be like the hunter gatherer and like provide for your family. And when you can't do that, definitely is like a mental somersault. You're like, I'm supposed to be the one going out there and killing the prey and bringing it home for dinner, but like my wife's doing it, which I guess is actually quite like a lioness would do. But I digress. This isn't
man.
But
like,
you understand. Like,
we know what you're saying.
We get it.
Yeah, we get it.
She's definitely the superhero, and I told her like I really am thankful that you were able to hold the fort down for so long. So that I think that's what, if anyone's out there who is like a parent or who is in a relationship who wants to be a content creator, know that they are a part of it as much. They may not be on camera, they may not be part of your memes or whatever, but knowing that, because you have to be respectful for their time. You like, there's plenty of times where like I could totally stream an hour now. I've had plenty of times where a big host comes in. I was like,
dude,
you know what I mean? It's like I could one more.
Just do it.
My stream was going really well, so I didn't get the laundry done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no clock out moment. It's not like usually 9 to 5. You're like, look forward to your clock out moment.
No, it's always you know how it goes. Both guys know. All right, guys, next game. Boom, big host. Bro.
Thanks for the host. Bye. Well, Sancho, what right now? I think we kind of we've alluded to it a lot, but we'd just like to know, what is your favorite game to create content with? But is that the same or different than your favorite game to play right now? What's your favorite game just to play? Just fire up.
I mean, it's gonna. Are we talking about all time or just at this moment?
At this moment.
Okay. At this moment, it's really interesting. I love playing Fortnite. I love making content for it because I think I vibe really well with it. Like the way the game looks and the way my zany antics and sometimes means, I think we gel really well together. Yeah. And I think that's important as a streamer, is like you need to just find a game that you not only you love playing or people like watching, but something that you could just really vibe with, where you could kind of like take it wherever, like surprise people with it. And I really love that idea with Fortnite, despite that it's in a lull right now in terms of, because when I started making YouTube videos, I played The Last of Us. And Nick A30 and I, came from the same. We came from the same.
Stop.
I have to set a context to what my point is. No, but Nick A30 and I, we started from the same place of Last of Us, and with that game, we love making content for. But Naughty Dog wasn't making content in terms of like maps so we didn't have anything. And to go from like something barren to Fortnite, where it's literally spoon feeding you content to make and bounce off of, that was an awesome time. The summer of Fortnite, last summer, the 14 days of summer, you get a new weapon, new mode. That was just like, whoa, dude. All right, we're going to try that it's a new duo. You hit up somebody. All right, let's do it. And it's just like, that was like, that momentum was so fun to be part of. So I love playing Fortnite. I love streaming it. I love making content for it, but I'm still actively looking for something else. Like Tarkov, I see you play it, Paul. I can't vibe with that because it's like it's a super serious game. And
Tarkov,
the inventory.
Is it, Paul? Is it serious?
Okay. All right.
We'll talk about that later. Anyway.
Like the inventory system is so complex, and I'm like, I don't like. I can't do that. Like. I love games where I could, because I always see it as an improv. It's a theater kid in me. I see it as an improv. Like the game gives me something and I go with that. If the game is like really not giving me anything, then I can't jump into it. And at the same time, it's hard for me to jump into games that are already established because I feel like the audience is different. And it's so interesting to me because I always try to put myself in a viewer's shoes, right? If I'm a viewer, and every time when I watch other people play, there's a moment in my head, like I need to tell them something about this game to help them. And I tell myself, no, don't do it because they don't need my help. Let them figure it out themselves. Let them enjoy the game themselves.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Because like I always think in my mind, I was like, this person decided to reach for their phone, type out this long sentence and hit enter. Like all that happened because simply I forgot a blue tack. Like that sounds like it works. That sounds exhausting to me as a viewer. And so like an established game like Rainbow or WoW or League or anything like that, I know there's an audience that goes like, let me tell this guy everything I know about this game and explain why he need. You know what I mean? Like I can't interact that much with that audience. As much as I love people who want to help, I get that, but at the same time, it's like the kind of content that I want to produce is just more of like, hey man, this is me. This is the show that I'm producing. This is the interactive community that I want, and I want you just to sit back and relax and enjoy the show. And if there's something that I need, I just want you to relax because I want you to relax here versus like working here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. You will explicitly ask if you need something for the interaction, but if not, heck up.
But that's the thing. Like and when I play offline, to be honest, I play Overwatch a lot offline when I can. As a dad, like if I can, I play Overwatch. I'll sneak away for like an hour to play it. But Overwatch, Fortnite, and I'm looking forward to like I want to get into single player games, but even those games, it's a hard audience to get into because especially a PlayStation guy like myself, they love playing for themselves. Right? They love playing the single player story for themselves. So when you play a game at launch, no one's there because they're playing the game themselves, which is cool. That's fine. I totally get it. But it's hard for me to play a single player game because I think single player games are more of a night experience because it's chill. Like the lights are off. It's like, all right, let's explore the story. Like it's more of a gourmet type meal. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, let's experience this just totally crafted story with cutscenes and all this kinds of stuff, dialogue. But then in the day, I'm like, hey, multiplayer, let's just run around and make as many clips as possible. So that's why
each other up.
Yeah, that's what Fortnite's all about. Because like you're like watching at work, or if you're watching at school, you kind of like dip in for a second and dip out. Like when I work full time, I love watching Doc, Summit, Nick, A30. The people that were grind those long hours because I knew that I could just take a break from work, look at Doc's in the top 10. He did. All right, and then you know what I mean?
Move on.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's like, and if it was a single player game, I wouldn't engage as much as that because I get done. But
they'd be somewhere in a game, and you just be like, okay,
be lost.
Yeah, there's no like checkpoint. I got you. Let's fight a boss, I guess. But other than that,
but that's to answer your question, and I kind of want to get into retro games, but there's always that question as a content creator, like how much am I willing to invest and sacrifice time into establishing another, not a community, but another like section of your community, like another extension.
You gotta event it, and like you gotta dance game it. You gotta like turn it into like this week. We're doing this all week. Yeah, and I'm gonna play this game.
Like
just like Co and all those guys, they schedule stuff and they get people excited about it before. You don't just drop it on them. I think that's the best way to do it. It still doesn't work like perfectly, but
yeah,
because people still never know what's going on, but they just don't. Like you could advertise something all year
for a year.
It happens, and they're like, "Wait, what is it?
What's today?
What are you doing?"
I always try to tell myself like, "Hey man, if you're playing Fortnite, just just know there's a chance you might be talking to like a 10-year-old. That's what always in my mind. So that's why I try not. I don't want to be rude to anybody. Like that's not who I am. Like because gaming, like I said, is all inclusive. Like and we're all one and the same. We're all gamers. And so like it's exactly that point that you were just saying. But well, yeah, man, it's just you could advertise to the cows come home, and I always like it. And I don't know if you get this here. It's like, hey, is everything okay with you and Nick? I mean, you haven't played. I was like, bro, I just played with him yesterday, brother. Like,
bro, is everything all right?
Yeah. What happened to the squad? You guys have a
I haven't seen you play in front, which really just like reveals how they never really watch you. So they just are like,
or him as well, like or the other person. Yeah. Like we were yesterday. I understand, like I don't. It feels like, but I don't get me wrong. Like if I had an opportunity to change the content that I was watching, I would try to go for it. Go for the Hail Mary. You never know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think that's what kind of pushed me to Tarkov and to just any other game, not any other game other than Fortnite, period. I mean, there's definitely quirks about the Fortnite community that after like a year or 2 years of doing it gets a little bit obnoxious. So it's nice to get to a new community and just see new faces or whatever on stream. Like I've made new friends just from the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks I've been playing Tarkov. It's been like really cool. So just playing with those people.
He's killed them all. He's killed every single new friend at least one time.
Okay, comms. At least
one time.
Need better comms. But I completely lost my train of thought. Thank you, Trevor.
You're welcome. Well, good thing you lost your train of thought.
We're talking about schedules.
Don't even worry about it. Honestly, Trevor,
content creation, and we're talking about video games. Okay, so
we're hitting a lot.
Fortunately, it's ad time. Woo! Okay. Who's excited for the ad?
I am.
And go with the ad. The May Contain Action podcast is presented by PrintLoyal.com. They partnered with talented artists, creating incredible gaming fan art and making it available for you to rep your favorite games. New art is added weekly, and Drop One featuring art inspired by Fortnite, Apex Legends, and Destiny is now available at PrintLoyal.com. Love games? Show it with PrintLoyal. You can also follow them on Instagram and Twitter at PrintLoyal. They are always interested in different kinds of art you want to see on the site, and they're always adding new stuff. I heard there's some Star Wars stuff coming soon, so it's going to be pretty sweet.
It'll be dope.
What's up? The ad's playing, and now the ad's over. Okay, now we're going on to the next segment. They put it in post. It's pretty cool. I like it. We can post. Put it in post, PM. Put it in post.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
So next segment, Sancho. It's just kind of talking about something a little more specific to you and what you're doing recently and things like that. Obviously, you've been doing a lot of hosting. We alluded this earlier, casting as well.
I have.
So kind of, I mean, walk us through what it's like to be a caster, right? You kind of just stepped into this role. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your first one was Twitch Rivals back at TwitchCon. 2018.
I was competing at Twitch Rivals. I was actually in the tournament. I think
you were, but I remember seeing you at a green room when we're in Link 182. Yeah, Blink 182 was there. That was TwitchCon, was it not?
That was at Petco Park. Yeah.
Park,
I was part of Jericho was hosting. We were doing a segment on St. Jude. Yes,
that's what it was. Right. I remember that.
Yeah,
you were. Yeah.
He was there. Yeah, it was Jericho. When he fell down and broke his face.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So walk through what that was like, and what's the craziest day you've ever had doing an event as well. Just curious, like what that was like. If you had any crazy days.
So like all the casting and hosting stuff, I've started doing like a long time ago with a game called with Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is a PlayStation primary developer and first party is what I was looking for. So with Naughty Dog, they got me into like because I started streaming and then I was streaming with Naughty Dog, and because I was like one of the main like people in the Last of Us community like that was only making content for the multiplayer, and from literally, I kid you both guys, and I'm gonna say this for anyone who's listening right now and who are forever in the echoes of eternity. The relationships you make in any business is the most important thing that you should work on, like period. from that, I like how I got into the Naughty Dog thing was I met a dude at a LA party, and he turns out to be the developer for Naughty Dog, who got me in touch with the community manager. And then from that community manager led me to so many opportunities. And it's like a web, you know, and this web could lead you into multiple opportunities. And that is so important for hosting and freelancing and shoutcasting, because doing that led me to everything that I'm doing now, like without, you know, forming those relationships. And so for me, that's what casting and hosting is all about. That I like when I finally got into that, you know, it was so like everything that I've done led me from this period. You guys are catching me on this wave that I'm on right now. From December to now, I've literally hosted everything, like 10 times the amount of hosting in my life is happening between these 2 months. Like, It's been chaotic. It's been insane. Like 1 week was like 4 gigs that week, and I never experienced that in my life. And it's just popping it off, and it's literally full sending. And the reason why is because I'm cordial on set. I make sure I know people's names. And it's not because I'm trying to get somewhere. It's just I'm trying to be a person, you know?
Dude, yes. Be
I'm
a
trying to be a
human being.
Right. I'm trying to be a good dude to be around, because the way it works when I learned in acting is like, you don't want to work with bad people. You want to work with good people who are chill and who put out good vibes. And so like, and the reason why I got into Twitch Rivals, which was and again, relationships are the most important thing, was because of Monster D-Face, who is another caster in Fortnite. They asked him, I don't know if I should be sharing this, but they asked him, and he was like, use Sancho. You're like, that's the guy I recommend, SanchoWest.
Yeah.
So it's like his recommendation got me into that Twitch Rivals. They loved the work that I did. They loved the research that I did, and they loved the atmosphere that I created, the knowledge. And it's just snowballed into multiple Twitch Rivals events. And then that led to me doing the Twitch show with Cloaksy. And that was in itself like bizarre that I'm sitting next to Cloaksy and we're talking about Fortnite. And then before all that, I was doing Code Red with Dr. Disrespect and Boom TV. And the reason why I got into that is that there was a tweet that one of them, Steve, I think as Doc's manager, was like, hey, we're looking for casters for Boom TV. I was like, I'm your guy. This is me. I had to tweet at him 3 times, you know? And again, relationships are important, because guess who got a big bump for that retweet? Someone retweeted it. That was my buddy Nick A30, who was like, I highly recommend him as well. Like, this is a good dude. He does good casting. Use him. So I started doing that. And Code Red was really cool. And then, I mean, this the whole ride is so phenomenal. Especially these 2 months. I think if I had to pinpoint it, I think it was really cool interviewing NFL like players. Yeah, and that was fantastic to me. I thought, and then interviewing like top streamers as well, like Nick Merckx and Tim. All those guys was really cool, and Tifu. I think the moment that I thought that I'm going somewhere. Remember those moments, those beacons where you're running in the dark, and you find a moment like, was that I look across and I'm sitting on the couch and I look across, right next to me is Golden Boy. Now, Golden Boy is the quintessential host caster guy that you could work with.
He really is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so like him right there is like someone I've followed, someone that I've supported, someone that I've cheered on Twitter, and seeing him go from casting to Titan Games to representing the Latin community, like all that kind of stuff. And he's sitting right next to me, and we're doing a show together, and I'm being introduced with him, like Golden Boy and SanchoWest. So it's like that to me was like really cool, and it was eye opening that moment happened, and then it just kept another moment and another moment and then another moment. Then ending up with at 100 Thieves, ending up at the Petco Park, hanging out with everybody backstage. Yeah, man, I just love hosting and casting. Like I said, it started in high school, just being in front of people and getting the person that you're talking to comfortable and getting them to showcase themselves is the best thing ever, because that's what you're supposed to do in acting, is like you're only as good as your scene partner. So you could have the best scene ever, and if your scene partner's not on the same page as you, then that whole scene was crap. So so that's the mentality I have, and that's the same thing I have with streaming. Like when I hate the word collabing, but it's whatever people understand what I'm talking about. When I'm playing with another player, like when I'm playing with Paul or I'm playing with Shivers, when I'm playing with all that, like I just want them to not only be comfortable but feel like they're being put on a showcase, because I feel like when you do that and you're selfless and you make those strong relationships, it just takes you further in life than saying, what can I get out of you and what do you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm still waiting for this relationship with Trevor to take off. So same way.
But that's what I love about it, man. That's what casting's so cool, man.
Have a logo without me, bro. I'm the one who got it off Fiverr.
Hey, Fiverr's good, dude. I use this.
Fiverr is good, dude. Highly recommend. Fiverr, we're looking for more sponsors. If you're interested, you could just give me an email. Thank you.
Nice.
We're doing terrible. This is awful. But that is amazing. The fact that you have, it's funny. When I saw you with Golden Boy, I was like, damn, son. I was like, Sancho's doing it. Like, let's go.
So funny. You know what I want? You know now what I have in my head? I'm like, now I got to get Golden Boy on the show. And
dude.
Be like,
you should.
He will probably freak out hearing this story and be like, what? I can't believe that somebody like was excited to see me. Like, I guarantee you, just from listening to him, kind of getting an idea of the type of person he is, he'd probably pretty blown away.
Super humble dude.
I
love talking about him.
He's a legend, man, and he did it all. He did NBC Titan Games, did AEW wrestling.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he did.
That's like I'm like, dude. Like for the I opened up with like it's a like a blank space and we're just aimlessly running around. That dude's he is making a path for a lot of people, and I'm definitely following that path.
Absolutely,
very cool.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
I want to talk to Golden Boy. Look at that.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We of all the name drops today, you know, we got a lot of those need to come on the show.
A lot of them.
I'm adding people to the list just on my notepad. Just,
please. I'm telling you, another person you should definitely get, and it's very fascinating, and people don't give him a lot of credit for his intelligence in this realm, is Nick A30. And he is so intelligent with YouTube, very intelligent with social media, and him blowing up. And people, it's always interesting in social media, always people try to discredit you. There's always people trying to discredit your success, discredit what you're doing, because it's easy for them to put you down so they can feel a little bit better. But he got a shout out from PewDiePie long time ago, like ages ago, when he was like a 25,000 subscribers. I've known Nick for like 7-8, like I've known him for a long time. So he was doing really well. He got a shout out from PewDiePie. He got like about 15K, 20K bump, and then it plateaued. It was his work and his grind that led him to get blown up like on Fortnite. It wasn't PewDiePie. That's what I mean. Like so many people come in like, oh, you only got 1 million, whatever, because the PewDiePie like.
Oh my gosh.
It was way
of course.
before that guy.
People want to discredit you.
Yeah, man.
That was it. It's so funny because people. Yeah, of course, I get that sometimes too. For just whatever. I'm in the world, right? And I was like, oh, who put me on? On a Major League Baseball team,
right?
And they're like, they're like, I don't know how that works, so I can't say anything. Did someone put you on? I'm like, no, you earn it, because if you suck, you just get sent home.
Did some pitcher shout you out on Twitter?
Isn't it wild to say like even Ninja gets discredited? Like, oh, you're only popular because Drake played games with you. You know what I mean? Like, that's just bizarre.
There's always someone who's in control of what your own success, right?
Exactly.
And it's just. There's a fine line, right? There's memers and there's trolls and stuff. And then, people just get super negative. It's very easy to veer off to the right sometimes. And I try not to think that everyone's just like, that's who they are. I usually give people benefit of the doubt, right? Yeah, benefit of the doubt. And then especially if they're young, I'll be like, hey man, like, I don't appreciate that. And then if they double down on it, I'm like, all right, and now you're done. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. But that's just it. I just kind of shrug and I just stopped doing subtweets and things. I used to do that. I mean, I was younger and baseball and blah, 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 blah. But it's just, you learn, I guess, over time. But that's a really cool cool story about the Golden Boy thing is sticking in my head. Just like having that experience and seeing all the success you're having with that too. And and just judging by the hour we've been doing this this pod, I mean, you're quick with it. You enunciate really well. You're very comfortable in front of a microphone. So that's good. Yeah.
My wife, I mumble a lot when I'm off the mic, and it drives my wife crazy. And we're gonna be bad. We're old, man. We're gonna be so bad.
Yeah, but at least this is training us to be better, though. I'm sure if we didn't do these things, we would be terrible. Because I would be like, I already have a low voice. Yeah. People are like, huh? First of all, that was terrifying. And second of all, what?
Yeah.
So, well, since we've established that you're pretty quick with it here, let's see how quick with you are with a game, huh?
I like the segues. I respect the segues.
How about a game? I respect the segues.
We have been practicing the segues because we used to be like, all right, segment C, and then we just so it's getting better.
I love it. I'm working on it.
But this is a game that I have stolen from a local radio station in Minnesota called K-Fan. Shout out to the boys at K-Fan, guys. I don't want you to hate me. I didn't steal your show. I did kind of steal your show though because it's really good.
Okay.
Called Initials. This has a little bit of a twist. Usually there's 5 different things you're looking for. They all have the same initials. The way the guys do it they prepare, they go crazy. The thing they do is super in depth. And they have all 5 are the same initials usually, and it's like it can be literally everything. There's no like theme. It's just like anything there is in the world, and you're like, what? and then whoever comes on, whoever the guest is, they just lose because it's really hard. Mine's a little bit easier, and I usually try to stay within the theme of the show. So this is movies and TV. It can be names of actors, names of movies, names of characters name of an object in a movie. It could do anything, but it's themed around that. Okay.
Can't wait.
Usually there's one set of initials, maybe 2. This time in honor of Paul and I put our initials in as well. So there's 1 for each of ours, TM and PJ.
Okay.
But it starts with JR. So the first 3 are going to be JR. We're just going to start there. Okay. You get 5 hints. I'm going to slowly read them, and you get 1 guess. If you get wrong, you're out.
Really? How far is like who's the furthest that's gone in this game? Like
so they usually always get them because by the 5th hint, it's just like I basically tell you.
Oh, okay.
So you're just trying to get it before that.
I'm just saying like how many answers, like question answers. Like I just want to be like the gamer in me wants to just go the furthest in the segment. Okay, I don't want to be outed once.
So you're just trying to get more points than Paul. Paul actually won last time.
Yeah, you're out of that. You can't guess anymore for that.
For that,
or whatever that is.
For that person you're trying to guess. So there's 5 of them. All right. Okay. Let's go. Okay. So the first set of initials is JR.
Okay.
Hint number 1. Not The Office.
Okay.
Again, the hints usually just go from hardest to easy.
Okay.
Amazon.
Jack Ryan.
Rick.
I'm like nuts. I'm the best.
Jack Ryan.
Okay, I'm the best.
That was good.
It's like we're really close to the same person. This is just maybe we shouldn't.
I should do it for myself. I'm doing it for myself.
And I try to read the other hints too. The next one is wrote a silent movie. John Krasinski wrote Quiet Place. Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
And then Krasinski was the last one. So if you didn't have it by then, like he plays.
Sorry, Sancho.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I give you one. Home court advantage.
Okay. So number 2.
Yeah.
1-0 Paul.
I'm the best.
First hint. Explosive job.
Okay.
Robbers.
Wait, what is the initials again?
Still JR.
Oh, okay. Robbers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Robbers.
Ben Affleck.
Oh, man.
Explosive job. Robbers.
Is the name of the character?
I can't ask for clues. Ask for clues, dude. Come on.
It can be anything. It can be anything, remember.
This is a test in high school.
I got it.
All right. 4th hint. Bow and arrow.
Owen Arrow?
Bow and arrow.
Oh, I didn't hit the B. Okay. Bow and arrow.
So our hints so far: explosive job, robbers, Ben Affleck, bow and arrow. The fifth one is an Avenger with no power.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner. Gosh darn it.
Jeremy Renner.
Nice. I had a feeling because you said robbers, and I was thinking of the town. So I was like,
town,
oh yeah, the town. So I was like, okay, like, but then I got caught up because I was like, am I trying to name a Ben Affleck character? And that's where I got caught up. But I got caught up.
I was like, I thought it was DC. I thought you were naming like Green Arrow.
So exactly.
Explosive job is her explosive job is Hurt Locker, and yeah, Jeremy Renner.
There we go. All right, we're in and let me I wanted to say this before.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a movie title or like there's like a initial or something in their name, it's usually just whatever. Okay, so it's just the main. So like if it's like A Quiet Place, it would just be QP.
Got it.
Okay.
Hey, Sancho.
Mm.
Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Good job. 1-1. All right. We're number 3. First hint. Sidekick.
Jim Ross.
No.
Yes. All right, Paul. Let's see if you can get it. You still gotta get it.
Okay.
You can get 0 points.
One for the Hail Mary. One for the Hail Mary.
You're on it.
I like
First hint. Rough. Okay.
Hint number 2.
Okay.
Curly-headed.
Curly-headed. What was hit number 1?
Sidekick.
Sidekick. Curly-headed. Okay.
Hint number 3. Not half siblings, but
whole siblings. What?
The last 2, you're gonna get it. Trust me.
Okay. All right.
Hint number 4. Shake and bake.
What's that noise?
Too nice.
That was well timed.
Oh, what is his name?
I'm gonna give you the 5th hint, even though you got it. You just can't remember his name.
Can I? I know exactly what it is now.
Mike Honcho is the 5th one.
I know what it is now. Can I come back? Can I play a card?
Can play a card? We've never allowed something to come back.
I think you should because it's so obvious now.
He knows the name.
I can't think of his name.
I'll give you. I'm a fair player. I'll give you another hint. 3 initials.
3 initials.
Yeah, 3 initials. I said that thing before. There's a middle initial.
There's a middle initial.
That might help you say it.
When you say his full name, you always include
his middle initial.
You do. I don't know it. I don't know it.
You give up?
I do.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. But neither one of you get the point.
I know.
So it's 1-1. It's 1-1.
That's a good hint. Sidekick was a good hint.
Sidekick's a good one. See, now it makes sense. The first 2 usually don't make sense, and the third one you're like, brings it together.
All right, I'll wait for
pretty good at making these.
Time.
All right.
Did you just give yourself a compliment? I'm pretty good at making these.
You got to be your biggest fan, dude. Who else is gonna do it?
That's true. Your mom.
So, this initial is in honor of host number 1, Paul. So PJ.
Wow.
PJ is the initial. Okay. PJ. First hint. Kiwi.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready for a second.
Okay, can't wait.
Second. Fantasy.
Okay, I got one primed, but I'm not confident yet.
Okay.
Hint number 3. King Kong.
Peter Jackson.
Dang it!
Yes! And he's a Kiwi. He's from New Zealand.
Yes.
You don't know that?
Yeah.
I'm the best.
Then the last one. Other than that,
I'm gonna tie it. Is there a sudden death?
There can be sudden death.
All right. Sudden death.
Perfect. Southern death, brother.
We're gonna flip a coin on audio and then see if anyone knows what it is.
Ting.
Hint number 4 was The Shire, and hint number 5 was Sits on a Special Chair. So he was the director. If you couldn't get to, he was a director.
Sits on a special chair.
Why don't you go sit on a special chair?
Sit on a special chair, you dumb director. Okay, and now our last initial is Toby.
You just said it.
I just said it.
Toby Maguire. Boom. Give me that point. Give me that point.
Oh my God, dude.
2-2. Let's go. Now we're on 5.
Chat. Dude, oh my. Imagine ruining your own game. Dang it.
I mean, what was it, Toby Keith?
It's Toby Maguire, dude. You got it. Maguire. Oh my God.
I'm so good at these, Trevor said 5 minutes before ruining it.
Dude, of course, everything that I said before that is super ironic now.
It's like, I'm gonna get this dub.
We're super.
Yeah.
Co-stars with KD.
Ooh.
Versus Goblin.
Nice.
Upside Down Kiss.
Oh yeah. Easy.
Radioactive Bite Trilogy was the 5th
Radioactive Bite Trilogy.
That's the reboot. I cannot believe I said it. Well, hey, you know what? There's the first thing for this is why we don't go past 12 episodes, chat. / listeners / viewers.
The next initials are Toby. I think that's the name.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. These are hard to make, and I can't make one up on top of my head, so I guess Paul wins. Yay! No, I mean, I would say, you know what, Sancho, you did say Toby Maguire.
I did.
I gave a
I
hint.
said Toby, and I said Toby Maguire. That was a great hint.
Yeah,
I would say.
Wow, what a tie! Wow, what an anticlimactic tie, man.
Yeah, I don't think you're in charge of the games anymore.
Yeah. I'm actually physically angry. I'm like, I'm so mad, but it's funny content.
It's more content, dude.
Yeah, sometimes you're going for the crazy snipe, and sometimes you get sniped out of the air, and it's
those are the best. Those are the best content.
There we go.
I always feel that Fortnite has the most typical timing, like insane timing. So much content that I have is just me saying something and the opposite happening immediately.
Oh my gosh. I almost hope it happens.
Oh, me too. 100% all the time.
I was like, God, I'm gonna go loot this guy. Immediately shot in the head.
And you know what?
I'm posting that clip tonight. It was too good.
Oh, you got to.
That is like a trick for a streamer. You have to do that. I think a lot of streamers should consider taking improv in some form of way, because you're essentially setting the stage. Like, you're setting up a scenario that this might happen, and if it does happen, that's the payoff. That's what comedy is all about. It's the setup and then the payoff. And sometimes the setup, you don't get any good payoff, but sometimes you get like gold, you know. And that's why anytime I'm playing video games or playing Fortnite, especially, I always try to set the stage like, this is what I'm going to do. And if it happens, cool. I look like I'm clairvoyant and I'm awesome. And if it's the opposite, then it's egg on my face and it's hilarious. And that's the kind of thing that I'm always like, you always are like doing as a live streamer, especially, is you're just setting like, here's what I'm serving you. This is what you know what I mean? You're always setting up and knocking down, And especially cool when you're playing with a duo partner, you're always like back and forthing with each other.
Yeah.
And you create like, certain duos have a persona. Like, there's always like a Three Stooges vibe. Sometimes it's like, this is what we do. We're a bunch of knuckleheads and we're gonna run around and figure out what we do. And you guys love that. And this is the show that we have for you today. But that's the thing. Like, more importantly is like, if something happens that doesn't happen when you're gaming, then you got to find a way to take that energy and turn it into something, you know, like
exactly. Turn into something positive.
Just think like that, and things tend to happen. Absolutely. So I'm sorry for that, but I guess, you know, live in infamy forever in the whole history of the show. Let me compose myself.
Yeah. As much as you complained about the animal game, at least I've never said the animal first. All right, here's the sound of a cheetah.
You're true. Anyway, any truers? Anyway, moving on with our lives. The fact that they're still on your Go XLR, I just imagine you sitting in your room by yourself, just listening to weird.
like vaporwave, but with
he's like, we're all listening to lo-fi, like getting our stuff together. He's listening to weird animal noises.
Yeah. But
all right, so before we wrap up here, we want to make sure that we hit on our favorite content creators at the moment. This is a great place to get inspiration for your own channel, or just a lot of times for me, it's just what am I playing now and who's good at it, and I want to learn how to play it. So, which is exactly who my person is this week. Sancho will give you give you 10, 15 seconds here to think and see if you got somebody. But I will go first. The guy who I've been hanging out with a lot lately, especially around Tarkov and stuff, is Sacriel. Sacriel42 on Instagram, Twitter. I've actually watched him a lot since back in the PUBG days, even a little bit in DayZ and stuff. He's a survival game, like hyper realistic, like anything with hyper realistic, like military type lore or games he loves. So he just breaks down, knows tons of stuff about weapons and guns, and he's really super analytical, and that's how he learns games. So he always talks through like when he doesn't approach something right, or like how he died or something, which is really, really valuable to people who are learning a game. And Tarkov is like the number one game you need to learn that stuff for. That, and he's English, and he says cheeky a lot, which is hilarious. And for whatever reason, I think English people are hilarious, and I wish I was English. So, Sacriel42 on all socials, and he's Sacriel, SACRIEL on Twitch. And he's been killing the Tarkov content. He's got thousands of hours in the game too. So he's been playing it since launch, or it hasn't even launched yet technically. So since it came into beta or whatever. And so he's highly knowledgeable of the game. And he always says hi to me when I come in chat, which is nice.
Oh, wow. What a guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Nice that you talk in someone's chat.
You got
So today I have a pretty small guy, small streamer. No one's really ever heard of him. His name is Summit1G. I've been watching his content recently, probably because, again, I mean, like you've been saying, Trevor, we're playing Tarkov a lot, and his skill obviously is there. Like Summit is like probably the grandfather of Shroud. Like he was like just really good at most games he picked up, and I feel like Shroud is like his son. Who's also very good at just like any game he touches.
He's a prototype, you know.
He is. He's the original prototype. He was the Shroud before Shroud. But his content is a good mix of very serious, good gameplay, and also just like hilarious moments that Tarkov does actually have in it for such a serious game. It's so funny. Like he recently grenaded himself on a map, and the clip of him getting up, looking at the camera, and running away from the stream was the funniest thing I'd seen in a very long time. So I've just been getting back into watch some of his content. He's got a lot of good content. And his Tarkov gameplay is a good mix of serious and like super hilarious. So Summit1G on all social as well.
Yeah, you've heard of him.
Yeah,
you've heard of him. He's a guy who I pop in like probably once at least a couple times a month. Just be like, hey, what's he playing? What's he doing?
What's he doing? What's he up to?
These are we stealing people's stuff? What do we do?
Exactly.
He's totally the standard. Like I feel like when I was working full time, I would just sit there and just have him on because I knew he was on, and his stream flow is so nice and pleasant to sit with. Like that's what I like about it the most. And then you will catch the same type of like hype moment and egg on his face moment. Like they're both they could happen at any moment.
He's famous for the most famous egg on the face moment ever, the Molotov.
But what I like about him as well is that he's very like chill, and he doesn't, and he really, when you ask him a genuine question, when you interact with streamers genuinely, you usually get a genuine question answered. And he really has those genuine moments as well. Now you're gonna put me on the spot.
Think of it, dude.
I feel so. There's so many. When people ask me, there's so many people that I love watching. But lately, I would have to say there's two people. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna say two. I'm gonna say two. I want to say one big and one small. And
that's not really accepted on the podcast. We don't really. That's fine. It's fine. He's breaking protocols.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But not as small. Just small because they're probably just started and you're on your way. I see good things.
Yeah. Good.
Big. I would say Myth. I've been enjoying Myth a lot. He's a Night Owl streamer. You guys know all Myth. He's a big player in the Fortnite community, but I've seen him expand a little bit to more just chatting type stuff. And him, not only that, when he's streaming, him doing the Instagram on Twitter, I think is a great thing that he's building out. His vlogs that he's building out as well is really, really nice. Mm-hmm. And I think that, Myth is a very interesting because he's young and that he blew up with Fortnite and he kind of hit like a little bit of a turbulence along the way, and he's coming back stronger. Mm-hmm. And I feel that his journey as a content creator should be looked at in general if you were to study, because he blew up and was one of the top people, and then he wavered in the sense of he was a little bit shaken from his performance in Fortnite and things of that sort and in tournaments.
Yeah.
And he just came back. I think he's a lot stronger person, like a stronger content creator, and him showing his personality is really cool to me. And I have been enjoying his night owl streams, being a father when you're up late at night. Sometimes you're up, he's always on. So it's like really cool that I root for him because he's a young guy. And I feel that, he's one of those things when you're on social media, you see people struggle on social media, you just root for them because he's.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, not to get too into it as well, because we want to get to your next person, but Myth, and we kind of said this before, a lot of people in the Fortnite community are very kind and very fun to talk to and everything.
Dude, and I
met
Myth
him stood out to me personally because in this industry, and as well as in a lot of industries that rely on like, people have personal success and things like that, people could be very standoffish or think, are you talking to me for a certain reason? What's your angle? Why are we having this conversation? Exactly. Can you do anything for me? Type of a thing. Myth, I remember, said something to me at the World Cup, and it stood out to me because one, of his size, of his relative popularity, and two, because of his age and just the maturity it took to say this. But he was like, I wanted to get out of the house. I came to this obviously because of the World Cup, but also I wanted to be intentional about my relationships with people and build relationship, and that blew me away. I don't hear that from anyone that's under the age of like 25 max.
Yeah.
And he was like, I wanted to build relationship and intentionally seek people out to build friendships, to just have friendships for the sake of friendships, not for the sake of anything else. Mm-hmm. And that was amazing. I thought that was incredible. We hung out that weekend, and an incredibly down to earth guy, and it was great.
Yeah. So. And I hear a lot of stories about Myth in different circles too. Same thing. Like Clay Staley. He's another good content creator. He was like, I can't believe that I went out to have pizza with him and a group of people, and he wasn't like, I'm the guy. He was just like one of us type of vibe. So it's really cool to hear that there's a lot of stories revolving around Myth beyond just what you see on stream. So, and I think that's really important because like, we don't like, this industry is so new. We don't know how to approach other people. And I always feel like, yes, the running joke was always name dropping a lot, but I don't ever want to feel like I'm using them because I don't like that. I don't want to, and it's hard for me to be like, even with you, to be honest with you, even with you, Paul, like, I know we met, we're cool with each other, we're friends on Twitter, and I'm like, man, I want to play games with him, but I don't know how to ask. You know what I mean? There's always that thing, right? Every content creator goes with, it doesn't matter like what size is it, but like
it's so true.
So like that's the thing. Like, I know. Trust me, I have asked Paul, and he doesn't respond. No.
Okay.
And we're there, right?
No. But seriously though, like I feel like people like Nick Merckx, I feel like what you see on cameras, you see behind the scenes. But like Nick Merckx is another one. I could talk about Nick Merckx a lot because he's really cool too. And that was another moment where like I'm talking to Nick Merckx. It's really cool, nice guy. But to get to the small streamer, and I don't mean this in any way, but the small streamer is Larry Fishburger. Larry Fishburger is the homie. This guy, positive vibes, chill dude, clean cut, clean haircut, clean beard, cares about his image, and he likes to call he calls his community the tartar sauce mafia. He's from East Coast. He's from the tartar sauce mafia, and his whole thing, dude, his webcam overlay, he's in a Fishburger. And
dude, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah,
he's a good
right now. So
good,
fast.
Clean cut dude, and he's so cool, very laid back. And what I like, I'm gonna give him a special shout out for not only because he's like family friendly, but one of the coolest things that I've experienced with Larry was that we were live together when we heard about the Kobe news. Like we were doing up, and we heard the news about Kobe, and navigating that stream alone, I could like reflect on it like I don't know if I would have been able to stay on the stream if it wasn't for Larry, because Larry was like the other person that I was talking to about it and like discussing Kobe, and he was there and we like connected on a different level, and he was like, bro, he's like, sometimes you just got to stream to be there for your community, because sometimes people don't know where to go. And if you're live, that's like a place for them to go. So like we kind of have a job to do to entertain people, to get them off of it. And I told him in DMs, I was like, bro, like, I don't know if I would have been able to stream with if it wasn't for you being a duo partner during that time, because I was like that Kobe stuff hit hard, and we could do a whole podcast about that. But when it comes to Kobe, I was like, and with Larry there, he was cool. But none of that. He's about memeing. He loves Fortnite. He loves playing games. He's chill. He has customs and stuff like that. But I'm trying to get him to like do more Instagram. I feel like every time you see someone that is on the cusp of greatness or doing great, you're like, hey man, you got to do more of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, oh my gosh. Yeah.
So hopefully he posts more and things like that. But he's really cool. He's all about the maximum drippage, and he's helped me with my shoe game. Getting me good kicks and like recommending me awesome shoes. Because as a caster and a host, you have to have a dope shoe game, because everybody in this business does, like the Golden Boy and everybody. So he's helping me out. I highly recommend him. He's Larry Fishburger on most of his socials, but he's a good dude, and after that moment with the Kobe thing, he's at a different level with me. But yeah, highly recommend Larry Fishburger.
Amazing. Followed him just now.
Yeah,
just now live.
Yeah,
probably a mistake, because he's streaming right now and he was saying a bunch of things. I didn't get to hear him, but
he's a good dude, man.
He's a very good dude, man. That's fantastic. Well lit, brother. Good. Sancho, I love this. Yeah. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. You've had some really, really amazing insight. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Before we go, a couple things to wrap it up, but we want to know, Sancho, and our listeners, what do you have coming up? What's next for your stream? Do you have any events, any merch, anything coming up you want to share?
Sure. One, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I love podcasting. I had one myself, was now defunct, because I'm just letting you know, guys, doing a 2-person podcast is tough. It's a big commitment. You guys are doing it, especially when Trevor about to enter the baseball season. I wish you guys the best of luck continuing on, because it's not easy. I tell people who want to do a podcast, this is not easy. It requires just as much as work as a Twitch stream. So I applaud you two for doing it, because it's something that I definitely want to do for 2020. It's one of my things that I want to get looked into. But I don't know about any events. But my plan is to bring back my YouTube channel. So SanchoWest, I'm going to bring that bad boy back, put some uploads. I don't know if it's going to be daily. I have invested in hiring a part-time editor, which is big for me, because it's hard for me to relinquish control like that on stuff like my videos and stuff. But he's been a big help. His name is The Brave Edits. He's been doing some awesome work on my Instagram already. So I'm very excited to do that. Any Twitch streams, you can find me on Twitch, but I don't have anything planned for yet. I kind of like that idea, what you did, what Trevor said about Dance Game, going to do like, this is a week that we're going to do this.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you know how it goes, Fortnite opens doors for me in hosting and casting. So I guys kind of stay tight to the vest with Fortnite if I want to continue exploring those avenues. But yeah, man, just swing on by and say hello. And I'm doing TikTok too. I can't think of anything else. I'm just really, it's really fun to share my knowledge and my experience with other people. And maybe I've helped somebody out there, but like, again, like whatever you want to do in your life, if you're working at a job that you hate, like I've had so many jobs that I hated and I feel like they were stealing my soul. I swear to God, like this job is stealing my soul.
Yeah.
If you hate it so much, or you want to do something, literally just start doing a side hustle. I don't care what it is. If it's sewing, if it's making clay pots, whatever it is, literally just do something on the side, hustle it, work it, because it could lead to your main gig. And that's what happened to me. I love content creating. It was always my second full-time job. I just hustled, and it blew up to something that's manageable. So hold on to that. I don't care what, fix cars, just do something on the side besides your 9 to 5. And if you're a parent, I know that's harder to do, but it's worth investing in yourself. It's worth putting in the time for your side hustle, just like Trevor's doing right now with his streaming. Just like Paul, I don't know what your side hustle is, brother, but I'm sure you're gonna get some.
You're on it right now.
Yeah, this is my side
podcast.
hustle.
Yes,
on it. This is
really
one
on
it. Yeah.
Yes. So if you're out there, find a side hustle because it will make you happy in the end. It'll be hard. It's gonna be hard. There's gonna be hours that you hate, that you're like you don't feel like doing. You're tired. But invest in your side hustle. That's what I gotta say it for the button of this whole thing.
Yeah, anything worth doing is difficult. So
absolutely. Are you SanchoWest on everything? SanchoWest?
Yeah. SanchoWest on TikTok, Byte, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. But on Facebook, I'm SanchoWest Gaming. So those are the only ones. And we will not talk about Facebook. That's a place that social media platform I do not like going into.
Honestly, that's like 6 or 7 or whatever. So that's pretty good.
I wish.
You're everywhere.
Yeah.
I try. As soon as I heard a Byte, immediately grab that. And there was another one, VCO. I grabbed that. I grabbed them all.
Yeah.
Just in case, you never know.
You never know. It could blow up.
Yeah, someone stole my Byte within 5 seconds of it existing.
Wow. That's a bummer, dude. Like
someone tried to grab it for me, and they grabbed the wrong one. I'm like, that's not my name on stuff. They're like, oh, sorry, man.
Even gamer tags, I try to grab. On EA Origin, I don't own SanchoWest.
I don't either.
So it's it's SanchoWest. So it's like,
dude, I feel I'm still Black Paul on Xbox. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about that.
Turtle all mode.
Oh, you want to hear? My favorite gamer tag of my all time mine was Big Papa Pump.
Big Papa Pump.
Dude, I used to walk around SOCOM 2 with a pump shotgun. That was my troll name, Big Papa Pump, dude. Bam.
Love it. SOCOM. Love it.
Well, before we go, we always like to give a shout out to our review of the week. This one is from Sickness727. They said, I love learning the backstory to every guest and how they got to where they are today. I always learn something new about how to start/grow a brand in the modern era. The conversation really feels so natural and entertaining, and the games are always fun to try and play along with while I'm listening, except for Trevor's today. Paul really shines on these podcasts. His sense of humor and journalistic approach to the questions he asks are absolutely top-notch. Trevor's okay, too. That is my favorite review we've ever read.
Wow, that's actually a good review. I mean,
I deserve it.
Oh, I'm talking about like that's a genuine engagement, and you kind of want that. Like, when people
what you want them to sound like. Yeah.
It's so interesting. I think I was listening to Cypher when he was on.
Yeah.
And Cypher was like, he didn't like Instagram because the response, it wasn't genuine, right? There was no genuine engagement.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel that like if you want to engage with someone that you on social media, like any streamer, whatever, literally just say something genuinely and I'll look at it and I'll respond. Like, don't say first or Hurry doesn't respond.
Fire emoji.
Yeah. I just go like right past that, you know what I mean? And it was, but like that is a good genuine review, man. That's like someone actually sat down, took the time to not only gas up Paul, but put down Trevor. That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's the only
dynamic.
Exactly.
Like they're on the show.
Love that. This is, guys, the May Contain Action podcast. You can listen on all major carriers of podcasts, including Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. You can watch the VOD on YouTube, youtube.com/ActionJaxon. By the way, 5-star ratings, leave a review. Who knows? Your review may be read on the next episode. Also, go follow at May Contain Pod. That's MAY Contain POD on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My second co-host is Trevor.
That's me. I am Trevor May.
We said it this time.
Okay. Well,
no, I don't care. You can say it.
Oh, hey, hands up. I'm backing up with the mic. Okay.
I'm Trevor May on Twitter. I'm doing it. We already did. It's too late. I'm Trevor May on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. He really wants you to follow his TikTok.
Please.
We're going to talk about that.
Put a new one up today. It's really, really funny.
Yeah, go talk about it. He also has Trevor May Baseball. It's his second YouTube channel. He really loves baseball. If you like baseball stuff and you don't like other stuff he does because you hate Fortnite and you want to know about baseball, go follow that. It's all baseball. And he's still Trev May 65 on Instagram because he refuses to talk to any manager about changing it, even though he has a lot of clout. I pretty much nail it. I pretty much get it.
Crushed it. Perfect.
Thank you. I'm outstanding. I'm Paul, host number 1. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, ActionJaxon BTW, on those two because I don't have brand recognition like SanchoWest. You can watch the VOD, our live facial expressions of this podcast on youtube.com/ActionJaxon. I'm also on TikTok and Byte, but Byte is kind of not really a thing right now. ActionJaxon BTW.
Beautiful. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a good day.
Woo. Thanks, Sancho. Appreciate it, bud.
Appreciate it, man.
Bye, everybody.